back to the Chinese 5 elements with Maddie King, and I'm Sue Brain. And this is the 5th element, isn't it, Maddie? We've actually now sort of, as we're walking into
Round
winter,
circle.
we're beginning to reach the end of these beautiful elements. So, Maddie, from what my limited understanding is about, this is the element of metal, and it's about winter, which we are now just about to go into. So it's about the inward journey, looking at grief and melancholy. I'm very keen about talking about things like melancholy because people don't, and the spiritual path and what the ending of a cycle means. So tell us more.
Well, you'll have to press my pause button because
Oh,
I'm metal elements. I'm talking all
oh,
about
you're
me, my favorite subject. But seriously, metal element is one of great thought. We've come from fire, from expansion to Mother Earth, and now we come around the cycle to a spiritual, inward contemplation, thoughtful time. Now, if that goes, I know myself, and if I get too out of balance, that turns into procrastination and you don't get anything done, okay? Because one of the aspects of the metal element, if it's out of balance, is it's very hard to let go. Now, you may not personally be a metal element, a primary element, metal element, but you'll have metal in you. And one way to know, a sure sign if your metal is a little bit out of sorts, is you will collect clutter because you will not be able to let anything go. All right. I know when I'm from that generation that we kept bits of string because it may come in useful. And I know that when I get that urge to spring clean, even if it's not spring, my body is saying, get back into balance. You're holding on too much. So if you're holding on and you're not accepting change, you're procrastinating a lot, you can't let things go, your house is getting cluttered, you've got brain fog, look to your metal. That's
Maddie, how do you look to your metal? What does that mean?
well, it's metal is lung. A very good question, Sue. That will open the floodgates for me. Um, Metal governs lung and large intestine. Okay, so a very, very simple way of balancing your lung, for example, is to come to your thumb, okay, and just come up where it wrinkles on the wrist, just massage that, okay. That's your lung. That's all you need to do on both sides.
Really?
And you can just say, it's now safe to let go. And my lung energy is balanced and flowing well. Okay, so you are massaging, you don't have to know exactly where it is, but you're massaging it with the intention of stimulating and balancing and strengthening, harmonizing, if you want, the energy along lung meridian. That in turn will balance the emotions as well as the organ itself. And large intestine, you can don't do this one if you're pregnant, by the way, but I've got no chance of that. Okay. So large intestine, if you come
Yeah, yeah,
feeling
yeah,
like that, I think we've done it before, Sue.
yeah,
The smiley is just there. So you
yeah,
can just massage
yeah.
just there. My large intestine energy is really strong and in balance. In
Oh,
balance.
do you know what? I can feel it. I can feel something happening.
Well, there you and do you know
I'm not saying it, but I really can.
that's a really good thing. When you hold these points, when you do work with energy, self-observation, I feel that, therefore you probably need it. And that's a great biofeedback. And think of large intestine, what its role is. It's letting go of that which no longer serves you. So you can quietly, after this, so you think, what can I let go of that no longer serves me? Whereas lung is about inspiration, bringing the new things in. It's inspiration and it's letting go.
Inspiring. Yeah, of course, it's the breath in.
Exactly. So,
Yes.
and it is like you'll be going into water element, but you're still in this letting go. And
So, I mean, winter is all about letting go. It's about acknowledging the death of the lovely summer that we have. It's been so
yeah.
gorgeous. And I know it's beautiful out there because thank goodness autumn gives us those beautiful colours. But I get very melancholic. And I wonder if that's an imbalance of metal.
Well, it may be, it could be many things, okay? Or it can be an exaggeration of the natural tendency that we have to begin to. This is the time when we need to begin to go inwards. This is the time of replenishment, and water is also very replenishing as well when we move into that. Water's the next one after metal, which we've already done. But it is sometimes going in, if you have quite fire, a lot of fire in you, so you love going out, you're an outward person, so coming in may translate to you a little bit as melancholy, an exaggerated inward movement as melancholy. I can't say the word melancholy.
Melancholic.
That's it, melancholy. Okay. So, yeah, and it's also a time, metal element is very much about those unshed tears and
Mm,
about grief.
yeah.
If you
Yes.
have any, we all have a residue of grief within us, all of us. If you've
Yes.
losing your animal companion when you were a little girl or boy, to losing a
Yeah.
really beloved spouse as when you're older, whatever it is, we have grief for our lost youth, for lost opportunities. Grief is part of our life, and it's a natural thing that should come in, and it never goes, but we learn to live with it. But it energetically, it shouldn't get stuck in the body. And so working the lung and the large intestine. And you can see here how valuable breathing techniques would be, you know, breathing
Yeah.
out to calm down and let go, you know.
I find it really interesting that the elements, this metal element really connects with Samhain, which is on the 31st of October. This is when the veil gets very thin and the
Yes.
ancestors walk abroad. And in the old days, we would have a fire festival to celebrate them, which we don't do now. Well, we'd send kids off trick and treating, which
Yeah.
irritates the F out of me, I have to say, because
Yeah.
that's not what Samhain is about. It is about this honoring of those who've come before. And of course,
Mm.
it's the Day of the Dead on the 1st of December, on the 1st of November. Yeah, November, for the Mexican Day of the Dead. So there is all this death around, but of course, us Westerners, we've decided we're just going to make it into a fun thing.
Commercial thing.
Commercial thing, yeah. So it's how do we use that metal energy to feed into that this time of year when the endings are very clear, or the ancient rituals around endings, and how do we do that, Maddie? How can we use that their awareness to support those rituals, those sacred rituals?
Well, and it is ritual, and metal element is all about spiritual connection, and I'm not saying this flippantly, but you will find that most spiritual people walk a solo path. I'm metal and I walk quite a solitary path because of the introspection that metal will often bring. Not everyone, depends on other things as well. But I think that at this time of year, it's if everyone can take a pause, we're all so wound up with the news, with all the outgoing yang stuff, to consciously, in whatever way suits you as a person. It may be knitting, it may be crafting, it may be meditation, it may be chanting, it could be anything. We're all different. But whatever it is that stops that monkey brain chatter and brings us in to ourselves, because within each of us is this wisdom woman, is this wise one within. It's just there's so much going on in the Western world now. We can't access her or him, so it's getting that out. I often think of it, how Prince Charming, fought his way through the brambles to get to Sleeping Beauty. I sometimes think of it like that. We have to fight our way through the brambles to get to that nugget, that Sleeping Beauty within, because we have all knowledge within. This is the exciting thing, but we've lost contact with it. So I think that is the gift that this time of year brings us. We naturally begin to come into our homes anyway and duvet days and everything, it's that natural thing, and it's taking it consciously that step further to find the stillness, the serenity, the tranquility in here, to feel that connection to our ancestors and to those wise women that have gone before us. And there is a couple of things you can do which help you connect to that. There's a point up here which is said to really connect to the energies above. Okay, so right on the top of the head, in line with the ears and the nose, just there, right where my little top knot is.
Yeah.
You can hold that, and you can hold that with one of two things. You can hold it other hand over your navel. Your navel is a portal to your maternal ancestry. And opposite on your back, the Ming Men point, is the portal to your parental, your masculine ancestry. So you've got 3 points here that I would encourage each of you to play with. Do you just have the two, the back and the front? Do you have the back and the top? Do you have the front and the top? Take time to go on to each and just be still and take some deep breaths and see if which one sort of hooks you in more to stillness and calmness. You can touch the body, or sometimes rub your hands together, shake them off, and just come over the area a bit. That sometimes makes more of a connection.
That's interesting. Now, as we started talking about this, Maddie, and I asked you that question, there was a bird that started to join us. And I've been reading a lot about the sort of the power of bird song and how birds are so attuned to us. And I thought, oh, this is really interesting, having this bird joining in with us, going, yeah, that's cool, that's cool.
The other thing, and
Just
this may
love
be a little
it.
bit too much for some people, but I believe that birds are messages from our ancestors, from our
Yeah,
previous, our ancestors.
yeah.
I know butterflies and birds. I know when my mum's around because blackbirds come to me. I
Yes.
know when my stepfather, who was a real soul partner to me, as a twin soul, when he's around, butterflies at any time of year will hover around me in the morning, things like that. So what I love about that, Sue, is you noticed, the bird, and the association. And
Yeah.
that's the other thing in metal time is that thoughtfulness. And if you are still, you see the signs. However bizarre they may seem, you become an observer. You see the signs, and they
Yeah.
mean something to you.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Peter Kinsley. You might not.
Yes, I
You
have.
have heard of him.
Yes,
Well, he writes a lot about
you
his.
told me.
Did I tell you? Did I do it last time?
No, 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 you
No, I
didn't.
haven't done it. But anyway, he writes a lot about birdsong and the impact that it's had on his spiritual development. Very, very, I would imagine, very
Lovely.
metal man. But it's not an easy read, but it's very interesting. So if anybody's interested in this whole concept of birds
Yeah,
suddenly having messages, and Maddie talking about the appearance of butterflies, etc. My friend Caroline, who died, she comes to me as a butterfly. So, it's really, and also when we were doing the end of life research project with Peter Fenwick, we were talking to a lot of people whoever who died, and they would say, "Oh, a robin appeared, and I knew it was so and so." Or suddenly in the room that the person had died, there was suddenly a butterfly that we had to let out
yeah,
of the room. So,
yes.
this isn't loopy tunes.
No,
It's actually scientifically, These are, yeah, scientifically measured that very strange things happen at the end of life. And I think this is very metal, isn't it?
It is indeed. It is indeed. Um, yeah. Well, where do I go with that one, Sue? That one's but I know when mum died, I was very close to my mother. I was living in southern Spain at the time, and I would have this blackbird, but this blackbird in Spain for a number of years was the same, had one white feather. You know, oh, look at that. Things have come up. Um,
That's nice.
so yeah, and it's just taking time. And also I find I am in the metal phase of my life now, I'm in the crone zone,
Yeah.
which is a time of enormous freedom.
Yeah.
We're both contented crones. And
Yes.
I'm metal in a metal time. So it's very much now not fearing departure, but preparing for departure, and I find now the brings the intensity of enjoying every single day because you don't know how many days you've got left. So it really brings a sharpness to the pleasure and the joy and the mm, perhaps wrong with the contentedness, the gentle contentedness for me as a metal
Yeah,
at this time of life.
yes, and I think for me, it's giving me the gifts of being feeling at peace with myself.
Yes.
You know, it's been a long, hard journey to get here, and a lot of very, very hard lessons. But I think this sort of feeling of walking into this time of metal in our own lives, and if you're conscious of it, it's such a gift. And I'm really in tune now with Carl Jung. And
Yeah.
his teachings are very much, after the midlife crisis, where, organically, we should, after the midlife crisis, we should actually consciously be preparing for our death.
Yes.
Consciously. But of course, we don't because we're living in this loopy world, which is all about, obsessed with youth and celebrity.
Exactly. Our world distracts us from what
Yeah.
we should be doing. There's
Yeah.
huge distraction. And these things, where did I put it? These things are really bad for us. Even I sometimes think, what am I doing? Scrolling down. Go away, go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, because
Addictive.
you go down a rabbit hole, very interesting rabbit hole. But it fires something in the brain which is almost addictive. So you have to be
Yes.
very careful with the technology and certain things in our Western life now, that they are distracting from perhaps what we should be doing is pondering our life. What lessons have we learned? How have we enriched our souls? How can we really enjoy the days we have left? And also enjoy, I don't know about you, Sue, but for me, I have tremendous freedom now I'm older. It's a freedom in the sense of I don't really care what anyone thinks. I try and live my life and treat others as I would be treated. But if you don't like me, okay.
Yeah.
Whereas before I would agonize over, my popularity ratings at work or something. Now I just think, well,
Yeah.
I'll do my best and that's it.
Well, that's all you can do is do
Whatever.
your best. Yes, I think it's really interesting because I'm noticing in my metal time, my increasing metal time, that my body is aging and it's getting creaky and I've got creaky knees. So I'd be very happy going off to do, I don't know, 18-mile walks or stuff like that. I can't do that
Yeah.
anymore. But the freedom isn't about that.
No, no.
It's about the freedom
Yeah.
inside to just take a breath with myself
Yeah.
and do what I love to do, which is what I'm doing. So it's just very interesting, isn't it, to reconfigure what freedom means? Because freedom, oh, I'll put a pack on my back and I'll walk off around the world. I did all of that, but I never found peace of mind. But
Yeah.
now, having this, even though my body's beginning to go creak, creak, this sense of freedom of being who I truly am, like you, don't give a running toss what people think. Which is
Exactly.
just so lovely.
I don't take it personally anymore. I have no angst about it anymore. Yeah, there's definitely this wonderful sense of freedom. And with that comes much more authenticity. You know,
Yeah.
we get known as grumpy old ladies, not you and I, but because we're perfect, aren't we, Sue? But we can people, women can get known grumpy old ladies, or like, yeah, because we don't bother with the what's it anymore. You know,
Yeah, it's what it
we go
really
for
is.
authenticity, for
Yeah, it's
genuineness,
what's important, isn't it?
and
Really.
it's important. But the thing is, sorry to interrupt you there, I've got to say this because an old lady, I'm going to forget it if I don't say it. The thing is, there comes a point in every woman's life, and it varies with age, when whereas your body has looked after you when you're younger, suddenly role reversal and you have to look after your body. So for Sue, you may not be able to hike 18 miles anymore, but you may stroll through the woods for 1 mile, 1 kilometer, and get far more out of that. You'll see more, you'll feel more, you'll connect with nature more. It's different things. We evolve. We evolve.
We do, and the thing is, we're so programmed into believing that we should be denying our age and looking a certain way or dressing a certain way or whatever it is. I mean, the YouTubes are packed with it, but it isn't it to be truly at peace with yourself. And that's the goal for me. I want to get to my
Yeah.
deathbed feeling, do you know what? You did the best you possibly could, and it was good enough.
Yes. What a ride.
Maybe a little bit more than good enough, but that's the goal. But
Yeah.
just to do it with gentleness, and I love this idea of taking the really entering into this metal time, this time of spiritual unfolding, which is really what it's all about. And of course, that's what I'm
Mhm.
teaching at the moment on the Shift Network. That's
Oof, I love.
exactly what I'm doing. So, and it's really interesting to get the feedback from people going, do you know what? I hadn't thought of things like that before, or I hadn't thought of it in that way before, or oh, I think I'll go and find out about that. That's what works when we wake. That's what we do. We older, wiser women wake younger people up.
Absolutely. I remember reading somewhere once, never think of yourself as elderly. You are an elder.
Yes, yes,
And we are the spiritual elders.
yeah.
In times gone by in other cultures, we will be worshipped soon.
Yes. That may not be now this culture, but hey, it's really, I
Yeah.
think it's just cool. And all I'd say to anyone who's really struggling at the moment is just find something that you love to do.
Yes.
Something. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's knitting or going for a walk or planting a bulb, whatever it is, hugging your grandchildren, or I don't know, cooking. It doesn't matter. Just find something that gives you pleasure. I've discovered.
I absolutely agree with that. I think pleasure is healthy. And there's a lot of research coming through at the moment where when you are laughing, when you're smiling, or when you're just having a quiet contentedness, something happens to the cells in your body, and especially in your blood cells, and it increases your immunity. You
Yeah.
get stronger. So I would say to everyone exactly the same as you. Take a moment every day. I'm gonna give a challenge, okay? Take half an hour every day that is a 100% your time. Leave that over there. Don't go into it. And think, what do I really want to do for this 30 minutes?
Mm.
What's going to give me pleasure? Maybe it's eating a beautiful treat or
Yes.
sitting and watching a television program, or as you say, or knitting or reading or
Yeah.
walking. But what gives you pleasure? You
Mm.
know, and you do that every day, and that is one of the healthiest things you can do for your
Yeah,
body.
it's a lovely thing actually. But the trouble is, we're so programmed to feel guilty
Yes.
that we're not doing anything. We have to do things. We've got to
But
be out
got to
there
be busy,
doing.
got to be
We've
busy.
got to be busy, and I've got to tell everyone how busy I am.
Yes, because
Because
that makes me a good person.
that makes me a very interesting person.
Yes.
Because I'm so busy and so popular, it's all a load of nonsense. So it is about just innate, or somebody just allow yourself to sit for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Just be. See how it feels. It might feel incredibly uncomfortable, but that's the attracting, isn't it? That's going towards metal, isn't it?
It really is. I think I've said this before. I can't remember, but I'm allowed to repeat myself.
You
Okay.
are.
A simple thing is what I do every morning, unless it's pouring with rain. I go outside in the garden for the first 10 minutes with my cup of coffee, a really nice quality cup of coffee, and I will sit in natural light. It resets my circadian rhythm, my cortisol levels. It's good for everything. And I just sit and I think of something I'm grateful for, and I breathe and I listen to the birds and I look at the trees. I'm very lucky that I have a garden and I can do it in. But if you don't, if you live in an urban area, just look out the window at the sky, or when you're walking to work, walk through the
Yeah.
park or something, you know, but just take that time just to
Yeah.
breathe and feel grateful.
And for some people, that's very challenging,
It is.
so we really appreciate that. And I think Maddie and I have both been through those times. It has not been easy to do things like that.
It's not easy, and the harder it is, the more you need it. So be gentle with yourself. And I can't do 10 minutes. What's she talking about? Do a minute, do 30
Exactly.
seconds,
Yeah.
because even a few seconds is going to impact you in a very positive way. And you begin to build the healthy habit.
So Matty,
Matty, is she? Hello, it's
that's
Matty.
like the name of my son. Maddie, let's just do a quick finish off and then we can tell them what we're planning.
Okay, that'll be good. Oh, you want me to finish off?
Yes,
So
please.
metal element. Metal element, welcome this time. We are programmed by society to think of endings and being quiet and going inward is either boring or no good or it's scary. Welcome it. Try and disconnect from all that chatter going on, all that digital mayhem out there and the chaos, and take pleasure in sitting in front of the fire with a book, walking, in nature, just cuddling up under the duvet or something. Um, Take pleasure in that and allow yourself time and give yourself space to go inwards at this time, even if, as we said, Sue, even if it's only for 30 seconds or a minute, but
Mhm.
get into that metal habit.
And on the 31st of October, instead of taking your children trick and treating, just get the family album out with all the photographs of who has been and light a candle with your children to honour the lineage that they are now carrying. And that will
Mm,
change so much it'll change your relationship with them and they'll become much more interested in who they are and the lineage that they're carrying. So
yes,
I would encourage everyone to do that.
yes.
And this is the last video on the 5 elements. We've done them. So Maddie and I are going to carry on once a month creating a video and having chats like this about the aging process and the whole concept of what it's like to grow older consciously. So I hope you'll be joining us for that.
I'm highly qualified for it.
We're very qualified. We don't know what we're going to call it yet, but it'll be up on my channel, so you'll discover it when it comes around. But we will be doing them regularly.
So maybe maybe you have a suggestion for what
Yeah,
we can call it.
yeah,
Not grumpy old ladies. We don't have in
no,
that
we don't
one.
want. We're not grumpy old ladies. So if you want to put a suggestion below in the comment box, do.
We'd
We'll look at
welcome
them.
it because this
All
is
right.
for you. We want to share it.
Yeah. So we'll see you not talking about the Chinese elements, although I know Maddie will bring them in because that's the kind of girl
Yes.
she is. And we'll see you when we see you next as two older women, cool older women, I hope, talking about what it's like to grow older.
Indeed, indeed.
So bye for now. Take
Thank
care.
you for being with us for the cycle of the elements.